Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden truths behind company filings with a magnifying glass some might call a bit too powerful. Today we're diving into Lixte Biotechnology Holdings, Inc. and their latest report, and let's just say it involves some rather interesting developments in the fight against cancer. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from these corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we break down more of these reports and discuss investment strategies. Alright, let's get right into it. This is a Form 8K report, which basically means Lixte Biotechnology is announcing some pretty significant events. Remember, these companies have to tell us when major things happen. The key date here is the 17th of December 2025. This is when the earliest important event we're discussing today took place. The company we're looking at is Lixte Biotechnology Holdings Incorporated. They're involved in the exciting but incredibly complex world of biotechnology, specifically focusing on cancer treatments. Their stock is traded on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol Lixte. Now, the meat of this report is under item 1.01, which talks about entering into a significant agreement. What they've done is made a big update, an amendment to a study they're doing. Think of it like adding more chapters to a book they've already started writing. This updated agreement is for a collaborative study that Lixte is doing with a giant pharmaceutical company called GlaxoSmithKline Incorporated, or GSK as it is often known, and also with the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center. This isn't a new study. It was first agreed upon back in September 2023 and had a previous amendment in April 2025. The study is looking into a specific type of ovarian cancer called ovarian clear cell carcinoma. This new part, Amendment Number 2, changes the study in a couple of really important ways. First, they are significantly increasing the number of patients they plan to enroll. They're doubling the number of participants in the study from 21 to 42. This means they believe they need more data to get a clear picture of how well their experimental treatment works. Interestingly, while the overall number of patients is increasing, the financial responsibilities are being clarified. The MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is the institution running the study on the ground, will be responsible for the costs associated with patients number 22 through 42, excluding the cost of the drugs themselves. GSK and Lixte will still provide their respective drugs at no cost to the institution. To support this expansion, GSK is increasing the number of drug vials they supply from 400 to 800. This is a clear signal that the trial is moving forward and requires more medication. Lixte will also be providing a sufficient quantity of their own intellectual property, likely their drug compound, LB100, to support these 42 study subjects, which is projected to be 3 times the original amount needed. To put it simply, they are now looking to enroll up to 42 patients in this trial. They are aiming to enroll about 2 new patients each month. Now, this is a crucial detail, GSK's financial payments. For this study were based on the original number of 21 patients. They are not making any additional payments for these extra 21 patients. This means Lixte and MD Anderson are taking on more of the study's costs for the expanded patient group, perhaps to accelerate the research or secure better terms. Also, on the 17th of December, Lixte entered into a separate collaborative research agreement with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This agreement further solidifies their partnership for this expanded study, which they're now calling the Expanded Study. They plan to use Lixte's compound LB100, along with the substantial expertise and resources of MD Anderson, to achieve the goals of this expanded research. This collaboration is designed to continue until the expanded study is completed. Here is where we see some clear financial commitments from Lixte. In exchange for MD Anderson conducting this expanded study, Lixte has agreed to pay them milestone payments. These payments are tied to significant achievements in the development of their drug. First, there is a $500,000 payment upon the start of the first major clinical trial, which is called a pivotal clinical trial. This is a big step as it is usually the final stage before seeking approval. Another $500,000 will be paid if their drug receives Breakthrough Therapy Designation or Accelerated Approval Designation from the US Food and Drug Administration. Or FDA, these are special fast-track designations that the FDA might give to drugs that show promising results for serious conditions. And a final $500,000 will be paid upon FDA approval of the drug specifically for clear cell ovarian cancer. So, that is a total of $1.5 million in potential milestone payments. Beyond these upfront milestones, Lixte has also agreed to pay MD Anderson a 3.75% royalty on the net profit of their product. This means that when or if the drug is successful and generates sales, Maryland Anderson will get a piece of the profits. These royalty payments will start accruing once the drug gets FDA approval for clear cell ovarian cancer, and they will continue until quite a ways into the future, potentially into December of 2037. The details of this updated collaboration study agreement and the new research agreement are being filed as exhibits to this report, meaning they are officially part of the filing. Moving on to item 7.01, this section is about Regulation FD disclosure, which is meant to ensure that all investors receive the same important information at the same time. On the 23rd of December, just a few days after the agreements were signed, Lixte Biotechnology issued a press release. They announced that they're expanding their collaboration with MD Anderson Cancer Center and also with Northwestern University and GSK on this clinical trial for their compound LB100 to treat ovarian clear cell cancer. It is common for companies to issue press releases to share positive news like this with the public. It is important to note that information furnished under this section, including the press release, is not technically considered filed for liability purposes under certain securities laws. This is a standard disclosure practice. Finally, item 9.01 lists the exhibits that are being filed with the report. This includes exhibit 10.1, which is the amendment to the collaborative study agreement with GSK and MD Anderson. Exhibit 10.2 is the new collaborative research agreement between Lixte and MD Anderson. And exhibit 99.1 is that press release we just mentioned. And as always, the report is signed by the authorized representatives of the company. This signature here is from Jordan Pursglove, the chairman of the board and chief executive officer of Lixte Biotechnology Holdings Incorporated. Now, let's talk about what this all means. Lixte Biotechnology is a company in the very early stages of drug development. Their success hinges entirely on getting their compounds through rigorous clinical trials and ultimately approved by the FDA. This filing shows they are making concrete steps forward. The expansion of the study to 42 patients is a positive sign. It suggests that early data may be promising enough to warrant further investigation with a larger group. Partnering with GSK, a pharmaceutical giant, provides credibility and much-needed resources. However, the fact that GSK is not increasing its payments for the additional patients is a point to consider. It means Lixte and MD Anderson are shouldering more of the trial's financial burden for this expansion, which could strain Lixte's resources. The milestone payments and royalty agreement with MD Anderson are standard practice in these kinds of collaborations. They align MD Anderson's incentives with the success of the drug LB100. The potential for $1.5 million in milestone payments and a 3.75% royalty signifies a significant long-term commitment from Lixte if LB100 proves successful. The primary risk for Lixte Biotechnology remains the inherent uncertainty of drug development. Most experimental drugs fail during clinical trials, even if LB100 shows promise. There is no guarantee of FDA approval. The company's financial health will be a major factor in their ability to fund these ongoing trials. We'd need to see their financial statements to get a clear picture of their cash reserves and burn rate, but this report highlights their strategic moves overall. Lixte Biotechnology is taking calculated steps to advance their potential cancer treatment. The collaboration with GSK and MD Anderson is strong. However, investors should be aware of the significant financial undertaking for Lixte as they expand the trial, and the high risk inherent in early-stage biotechnology. The success of LB100 is the company's primary story, and these agreements are pushing that story forward. Alright, that is our breakdown of Lixte Biotechnology's latest filing. What is your take on these developments and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And don't forget to check out the Discord in the description for more in-depth discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.